Thanks for joining us, folks. First, it was Medtronic, then it was Best Buy, and now another iconic Minnesota brand joins the growing list of companies making major cuts. Today, 3M told investors it's planning to cut about 6,000 jobs globally. The company says it's part of a restructuring plan. Gordon shows us what's behind the layoffs and the potential local impact.
A company spokesperson tells me about 600 of those job cuts will happen here in Minnesota, with most of them happening at the company's headquarters in Maplewood, including corporate high-end positions. Another round of layoffs at 3M. Just 3 months ago, the company announced plans to cut 2,500 jobs worldwide. Now the company has announced plans to cut 6,000 more. Together, that's about 10% of the company's global workforce, according to company records.
Yeah, there's been a lot of layoffs recently in some of the larger companies.
University of St. Thomas finance professor David Vang says there are several factors behind these layoffs. First, just take a look at the company's own first quarter report. Sales are down 9% compared to last year. Also, 3M is a global company, and across the globe, economies are still struggling to find their way after the pandemic.
The economy is not quite as robust as it was pre-COVID, and COVID had a lot of impacts. A lot of customers that some of these large firms had have no longer exist, so that's reduced their need for some of these employees to service some of these things.
Vang says global companies like 3M are also realizing that with new technology and working from home, they don't need as many physical locations or employees as they used to. Also, global manufacturing companies like 3M are seeing lower demand for their products, and many are still experiencing supply chain issues.
The lack of automation of our ports, declining roads, a shortage of truck drivers, all these kind of things are still there.
Vang says layoffs are also a company's way to prepare for the future. So cutting 6,000 jobs is a signal that 3M executives are expecting some rocky roads in the near future.
We kind of have a potential for a recession, perhaps, in the coming year. So there are some indications of that. And I think a lot of firms are proactively cutting costs by laying off employees now.
Meanwhile, 3M is also in the process of spinning off its healthcare business into an entirely separate company. So stay tuned. We could see more hiring on that side of the business or more downsizing in the coming months.
Thank you, Gordy. 3M CEO says the job cuts will make the company stronger, leaner, and more focused, and will save the company nearly $900 million a year.
The new year is starting on the unemployment line for about 100 people who've been laid off from Harris County's Community Health Choice Insurance Program.
Yeah, definitely concerning. Fox 26's business reporter Tom Ziska says that the end of COVID emergency funding has forced the nonprofit to tighten its belt. Tom.
Caroline Anthony, the news came Friday afternoon. Employees got an email to attend a virtual meeting where they were abruptly told they were out of a job.
I was in shock and I was numb. I still am. I can't believe it.
This woman, who we'll call KC, doesn't want to share her name or face, but she was among those fired from Community Health Choice, which currently has offices along the South Loop. The nurse says about 100 employees asked to log on to a virtual Zoom-like meeting were told they were fired effective immediately. In a statement, Community Health says the downsizing comes after the end of COVID public health emergency funding cost more than a third of its Medicaid membership. As a result, there wasn't enough money to keep all the staff. But as for the sudden layoffs, the statement says, quote, "We deeply regret the need for this action and its impact on our valued team members. We approach this with the utmost respect and sensitivity." Some of the workers are represented by the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees. Local 1550 Executive Director Cynthia Cole says the union asked Community Health last fall about potential job losses, saying in part, "We were told there was not going to be any reduction in workforce. It was a sneak move and it impacted many families, and it's completely unacceptable."
Just very sad how it was even presented to us, you know?
Casey, in the meantime, is still trying to figure what comes next after losing the job she's had for more than 12 years.
It is harsh on all of us, even the ones that are still remaining there. The fear of not knowing what's going to happen, and that depends on your whole life, losing your job.
So Casey tells me she has heard from now former co-workers that those firings continued into today. Ask Me Local 1550 says the union has an initiative called Staff the Front Lines. It's designed to find jobs for healthcare workers, and they will be working with this latest group to see what positions they might be able to fill. Watching Your Money, I'm Tom Ziska, Fox 26 News.